and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting edition, an all-star studded edition of KPW War Zone. It is I, Tapey Styles, calling the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. And we are just 5 nights away, count them, 5 nights away from our next monthly special event, Collision Course, November 29th, 9/8 Central. And we have one hell of a pit stop to make before we get to that very show. As in our main event, we'll be seeing one hell of a first-time matchup here on the program. We'll be seeing our World Heavyweight Champion in action. Pando goes one-on-one against the King of Stego Style, Cory Sinclair. Also, still to come on tonight's program, we will be hearing from Steven Gielberg, the director, a man that has been very persistent in his threats and his attempts to blackmail Pierre Cinema over the course of the past several weeks. But also, still to come, tag team action as Oliver English, Hosway, two of the most prominent figures within Parliament, take on K-Dogg and Solo, representing Bunker Hill, before Parliament moves on to take on the Murder Hornets for the KPW Tag Team Championships this Saturday night. It's gonna be one hell of a matchup later on tonight. One hell of a roadblock for Parliament. Can they finally get one over on Bunker Hill? We'll have to find out in the very, very near future. But also still to come, and it's almost criminal that we're just getting to this right now. One of the biggest rematches in KPW history will be taking place. It'll be underway here tonight on Warzone for the first time since Madhouse last year. We will be seeing the Viceroy take on the Man Beast. We are, of course, talking about Jedi versus Crisp Billy. That's one hell of a trial for Jedi, one hell of a trial for Pando, as we mentioned before. But to kick off this program, we gotta look no further than the KPW Twitch champion, the Sauce, as he looks to stay hungry, stay healthy, heading into Collision Course, keeping the reps up, as we have yet to find out who will be challenging him for the Twitch Championship in just 5 nights. But he's gonna keep those reps up by going one-on-one against Greek Machismo, Nick Flawless. Let's get right down to ringside. I don't think either of these men are gonna be waiting any longer to get their hands on one another.
If you smell what the rock is cooking.
The bases are certainly loaded here tonight. A real grand slam of an event before we get to Collision Course this weekend. A lot of serious championship implications even for tonight, even when there's no championships on the line. One bad night here could turn and snowball into something much worse this weekend if things don't go a certain route. And that is something that the Sauce is gonna have to worry about here in just a moment. Greek Machismo, Nick Flawless. He is yet to win any championship gold here in KPW. But tonight could be a very different story. This could be the start, the impetus of something much more prominent, much more fruitful. We thought we were gonna see that almost a full year ago to the day. But if he can pick up a victory over the Sauce, surely he would have to be entitled to some sort of matchup for the Twitch Championship in the very near future. Nick Flawless with a hot start here. Irish whip on the Twitch champion. Running high knee. Taking down the Sauce. Headlock takeover. The Sauce slowly rising back to his own 2 feet. Back up to a vertical base. Sauce trying to slow the pace down in this bout. He knows how quick, how agile, how athletic Nick Flawless is. And the Sauce is going to do everything in his power, his wherewithal to counter that. Armbar applied to Nick Flawless, and that is one hell of a strategy there from the Sauce. If he can take out those arms of Greek Machismo, that would neutralize his most potent maneuver, the flawless elbow. But that might force Nick Flawless to get a bit creative. It might force him to dig down deep. And it could completely unleash something that not even the Sauce would be able to withstand, something that he wouldn't be able to expect. But the Sauce needs to maintain the high ground. He needs to maintain control of this bout to make sure that doesn't happen. All it takes is one opening. Now what a hellacious closed fist there from Nick Flawless. Really loading up the punches here. Samoan drop from the Sauce. Quick hook from Nick Flawless. Going for a wrist lock now. Drilling in the elbow into the shoulder. Nick Flawless cinching in with a Boston Crab. But he wasn't able to get a full grip on the legs of the Sauce. Sauce going low with a knee to the groin. And there's so much psychological upswing for the Sauce here. Trying to stay dominant in this bout. Trying to physically impose himself over Greek Machismo in this bout. He's already got the size advantage. Weighing in tonight, 260 pounds, 6'5". KPW Twitch champion, the Sauce, the Rhinestone Cowboy, as some may call him. He is a well-oiled machine. And if he wants to make it to collision course unscathed, he needs to operate just like a machine. He needs to be frame perfect. He needs to make sure that he has no room for mistakes. But Nick Flawless, he's gonna make sure that doesn't happen. Look at that tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. Snapmare from the Sauce. Sauce is quite the man of resilience, a man of perseverance. Back suplex from Nick Flawless, and the Sauce, he's getting right back up. He's almost begging him for another face crusher from Nick Flawless. And these two, they are just getting down to the nitty-gritty here tonight. This is quite an unusual pacing here for Greek Machismo in particular. Taking his sweet time, trying to work down whatever joints that he can of the Sauce here. Sunset flip counter. Cut a count of one from our lead official, Slapthigh Jones. Another tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. headlock from the Sauce. Waistlock counter from the Twitch champion. We have no idea who he will have in mind to challenge him this Saturday night at Collision Course. If Nick Flawless could pull off quite the victory here tonight, he might be able to stand and stake one hell of a case for himself. But it's only here tonight that the cards are truly stacked against him. And what a strike to the back of the head of the Sauce here. Drop kick into the turnbuckle. Nick Flawless, perhaps he was thinking of taking him up to the top rope there. Another tilt-a-whirl backbreaker. And Greek Machismo, he's been zeroing in on the back of the Twitch champion. Sauce working down the arms of Nick Flawless, trying to neutralize the Flawless elbow. Nick Flawless just barely able to get a grip on the Sauce long enough to drill him with that pile driver. And the Sauce has immediately equalized and neutralized this bout with a low blow to Nick Flawless. And speaking of championships, we can't go without mentioning this. As we saw last week on the program, we have introduced the KPW American Championship. And we have also retired the KPW Hardcore Championship. Of course, the final champion, the Misfit Bob, has been ceremoniously awarded the honor of being the first ever KPW American Champion. As we see up in the skyboxes, up in the stands here tonight, representing Bunker Hill, the heartthrob Popo. We know that he will be challenging for that American Championship in just 1 week's time on Warzone, December 1st. And we saw him crash the party 1 week ago, dropping the now American champion Bob with a well-executed, a well-calculated Texas T, that patented super kick. And that is just to go to show just how quickly the landscape could change, just how quickly the momentum could shift. Sauce has been trying to maintain some control, but Nick Flawless, he certainly isn't making it easy for him here tonight. Pushing the leg down, trying to steal it, going for a pin. But Nick Flawless, he was at the ropes. They could not recognize that pinfall attempt of the Sauce here, but they'll certainly count this one overhead, and the Sauce takes it. It looked like Nick Flawless was gonna go for a pile driver. And as we see here, he just overpowered him, lifting him over his head and right into the ropes. That was quite an awkward landing for Nick Flawless. Very high angle. Damn near folded up. And the Sauce, he moved quick on that. He dropped all of his body weight into that lateral press. Look at this steel one here tonight. And I think he has done so here in spades. Congratulations to the Twitch champion, the Rhinestone Cowboy, the Sauce, on one hell of a victory here to kick off tonight's show. But coming up next, before we get to this highly anticipated, high-profile rematch, first time these two will be competing against each other since Madhouse of 2024. Over a year ago. We have to head backstage where Roger is on standby with the director, Steven Gilbert, hoping to get some words from him before he takes on Pierre Cinema this Saturday night at Collision Course.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm standing here with the director, Steven Gilbert. We are nights away from what you've come to brand Collision Course as the Grand Exposé. You intend to reveal all if Pierre does not lie down in the center of the ring for you. But let's talk about your trajectory leading up to this weekend. You've been quite the polarizing figure, aligning with the scheme while also making quite the adversary out of opulence. And as of last week, it's safe to say you can't hire Bob to do your dirty work now either.
Out of all the goddamn things we could have discussed, you'd rather go back to the past and dig up skeletons in the closet. What kind of hate-filled man are you? Pierre seems to luck out every single time I try to hammer nails in his coffin. I tried to give a sneak peek and we get transmission interference. Then Opulence sticks his nose in business where it doesn't belong. And then last week, I had no scheme by my side. I had that dumb oaf Bob, and he stood me up because he doesn't think anybody can command him.
What the hell is this? We're getting more transmission interference. This seems to be happening every single time we see Steven Gilbert take the microphone.
There's that interference again. What the hell is going on? This interview is done, and the studio is no longer approving any press for insider information.
Well, in that case, let's get back to ringside for one of the biggest rematches in KPW history.
What a way to set the tone. It feels ominous to see those messages. Truth is an ember and letting it burn. Something is waiting in the wings to make sure that whatever blackmail Steven Gilbert seems to have doesn't come out. And speaking of ominous, you gotta talk about the challenge that is presented ahead of us here tonight. Jedi is ready to take on the 7'4", 525-pound man beast, Crisp Billy. The landscape has certainly changed since the last time these two squared off inside a squared circle. It was October of 2024 when we saw these two duke it out for the first time ever. Crisp Billy was the world heavyweight champion walking into that bout, and Jedi was the world heavyweight champion walking out of that bout. Crisp Billy is gonna want to even the score here tonight. He's been quite a vengeful man in recent weeks, dealing with Cory Sinclair, trying to send a message to him however he can. We saw the message that he left in the ring when Crisp Billy took on Bam Dardino, pummeling him so bad that the board of directors had to reverse the decision of the bout. Something completely unprecedented here in KPW history. Jedi, he's laying in some serious haymakers, but Crisp Billy, he is just not budging. That is a 500-pound man that you're trying to take off of his feet there, Mr. Viceroy. Two-handed choke from the man beast. And Jedi finally taking him down with a forearm strike from the top rope, but Chris Billy, he's right back on his feet. I don't think Jedi realizes it, but he's not quick. He's not gonna make any time to hesitate here. He's right back on the attack, and that's exactly the strategy that he's gonna need to employ in just 5 nights when he challenges Pando for the KPW World Heavyweight Championship. Spinning back first from Jedi. Lightning rounding those chops right into the face of Chris Billy. And this is a rare sight. Chris Billy outmaneuvering the Viceroy. Absolutely unparalleled speeds for a man that size, a man that strength, a man of that caliber. Jedi getting a little bit of an advantage here, ramming Chris Billy's head into the ring post. Chris Billy thinking some serious intentions. All of them cruel and unusual punishments. He was looking to incorporate those steel steps into the bout here. Tree of woe position. Jedi careening into Chris Billy with that roundhouse strike. And Chris Billy's up at 1. Big headbutt from the 500+ pound man beast. Guy with one hell of a leapfrog. He's quite the spry spring chicken here tonight. I've never seen anybody clear such a high vertical base like that. Damn near 8 feet in the air with that leapfrog on Chris Billy. That is some freakish athleticism from Jedi as he continues to showcase it with that suplex over the top rope and back into the ring. Jedi keeping the pressure high here. Frog splash. Bullseye on Chris Billy. As Billy drilling Jedi in the face with that big boot. Shoulder breaker. Now Chris Billy going for one hell of a chokehold. Look at the size of the hands of Chris Billy. Look at the size difference between him and Jedi. It is an absolute miracle. 1 in a million that a man like Jedi could even pick up a man the size of Chris Billy. And yet we've seen him do it before. We've seen him make a routine out of this. And that was exactly how he became a world champion. Jedi, we're gonna take Chris Billy up top. I wonder what the hell he had in mind there. Chris Billy using his force to push Jedi off the second rope, however. Jedi looking to go for a scoop slam. That took quite a bit out of him. Favoring that back. And how couldn't you after lifting up a man the size of Chris Billy? Jedi, he's still giving it the best fight that he possibly can here. Chris Billy ramming Jedi's head into that turnbuckle. Look at him meet in the middle. Running DDT. And look at it, even to keep Chris Billy out of arm's reach here. But the man beast, he is just so aggressive here tonight. He is completely unhinged. This is quite possibly the most dangerous we've ever seen this man. And one has to wonder if that even that will be enough for him to overcome the Viceroy. Jedi, what the hell is he thinking here? Is he looking to repeat history here tonight? He's looking to go for the sledgehammer, and the lights have gone out. What the hell is this now? We thought we were gonna see it happen once again. Cory Sinclair rushes the ring, kendo stick in hand. And I think he just screwed Chris Billy out of the victory here. We have to award Jedi the bout via disqualification. Certainly a result that's not going to sit well with either of these men. Oil spill on the Viceroy. Cory Sinclair, he's completely deranged. He's unhinged. But what he doesn't realize is that there's a 7'4", 525-pound man beast waiting for him, waiting for this exact moment to happen over the course of the past month. Chris Billy. He's looking to send Cory for a ride. Choke slam. Now what the hell is he doing? Oh, he's looking to put an exclamation point on this. GFD. And what the hell is this? He's grabbing a microphone.
You're a dead man walking, Cory! Guard my ball!
Oh my God! Cory Sinclair is a dead man walking! Did Chris Billy just challenge him to what I think I just heard him challenge him to? A barbed wire brawl. We really seriously question if Cory Sinclair was walking away the same man that he once was. Back at Euphoria, we had that same question ringing at Madhouse. But this is very clearly, very quickly grown personal between these two. And I don't even think we've ever heard Chris Billy speak before, and that's what he uses his first words on. He is completely intent with making Cory Sinclair's life a living hell. He will not be able to walk away from this unscathed. As the board of directors, they are able to confirm with us this Saturday night a third and final bout between these two to finally settle the score. Cory Sinclair, Chris Billy, part 3 in a barbed wire brawl. Absolutely unprecedented, but what may be unprecedented in just a few moments is a victory here tonight for Parliament as they take on Bunker Hill once again. Oliver, English, and Hosway, they look for any upwards momentum here heading into Saturday night as they now take on the former KPW Tag Team Champions as they prepare to take on the current ones in just 5 nights. At the start of the month, it was very hard to believe that you could get either of these men operating on the same wavelength, operating on the same page. We thought we saw a truly fractured business relationship between these two. Hosway wanted to hot shot himself up the ladder here in KPW, up the totem pole, but these two men representing the militia that is Bunker Hill, they have definitely made Parliament's greater vision damn near inobtainable. For the vast majority of the year, Bunker Hill has been leading the charge harder than anybody else. And we know that Parliament, they have a reservation for Collision Course in just 5 nights, challenging the Murder Hornets for the KPW Tag Team Championships. And it is up to the Pitbull, it is up to the Scrapyard Saint. K-Dogg Solo is up to both of these men to make sure that Parliament doesn't get there at 100%. Step up Enziguri from K-Dogg. This kid, this whippersnapper, he's got quite the bright future ahead of him.
2.
You're able to speak to the man earlier today before we started the show. We were able to congratulate him on one hell of a birthday. We wanted to know what ambitions he had for the next year. How he was going to make the most out of turning the big 30. And he said one day soon enough, he's going to become a world heavyweight champion. Very strong intentions, very strong ambitions for the Pitbull. As KPW wishes K-Dogg a happy birthday. And he's got one hell of a gift wrapped ahead of him here. Being able to take on Parliament. 2 of the highest ranking members of what many would consider a cult. Any chance for deconstruction? Any chance to break down the structure that is Parliament? Is an opportunity that K-Dogg is going to take every single time. And Solo, he's right there with him as a founding father of Bunker Hill. A man that at one point wasn't sure if K-Dogg was going to put in equal weight with the rest of Parliament because he was a late addition. He's very quickly, very effectively found a way to make sure that he's been almost far and away the most impactful member of the faction. Back in August, we saw K-Dogg secure the KPW Tag Team Championships in that gauntlet by himself, taking the fight to over 6 different tag teams just to secure the gold. And that included the henchmen of Parliament, excuse me. We're, of course, talking about Kruger and Papyrus Chaos Control. We saw them in action last week against 2 men that will be challenging each other for the KPW World Heavyweight Championship. We saw Jedi in action just minutes ago. And we will be seeing our World Heavyweight Champion Pando in our main event that is still yet to come, as he'll be going one-on-one against the King of Stego Style, Cory Sinclair, and who knows what kind of condition he's going to be in. He's going to be quite unhinged, quite unstable after what we saw unfold in the ring after Cory Sinclair hit the ropes. It cost Chris Billy one of the biggest rematches in KPW history. He's got to find a way to maintain some serious control against a World Heavyweight Champion Pando in our main event. K-Dogg taking the fight right to the Monarch. K-Dogg keeping his distance away from Hosway. A smart move, trying to stay away from enemy lines. Fight in neutral ground here. Solo tags in, Hosway tags in. As we've seen in recent weeks, we've seen Hosway start to represent Parliament just a little bit more than usual, a little bit stronger than usual. Representing them with those signature purple armbands, purple being the most widely associated color with Parliament. Bunker Hill in their black and green apparel. Schoolboy from Solo. Not even a 1 count that time. Action spilling outside the ring here. Hosway spotting K-Dogg from the corner of his eye there, taking him down with a Hurricane Rana. Spinning back heel kick from Hosway. Waistlock transition. Transitioning back into the collar and elbow. Exchange of strikes. Solo catching the foot of Hosway that time and taking him off his guard, off of his balance. Solo winning that brief exchange. Stereo tags from opposing teams here tonight. Bunker Hill versus Parliament. The war rages on. And this could be quite a pivotal battle in that war. We saw the press statement courtesy of the board of directors over the course of the previous week. The war between Bunker Hill and Parliament playing a huge factor in the decision to retire the KPW Hardcore Championship.
1, 2.
Believing that things have already been taken to an extreme at a very natural and normal rate. It would actually be more exceptional to have any sort of pure rules inside a KPW ring, which necessitated the formation, the creation of the KPW American Championship to reinforce that melting pot division in the back. That wide variety of backgrounds that make up that locker room. Bunker Hill with one hell of a task ahead of them in just 1 week's time, as Popo will be challenging Bob for the KPW American Championship. He has one hell of an opportunity to bring the American Championship home to Bunker Hill. A namesake, if we've ever seen one. Oliver English looking to go for a double underhook backbreaker. Solo counters it. German suplex attempted on Oliver English, but he lands on his 2 feet. That's not something you want to attempt with the Monarch, and it never seems to work out. Much like a cat. You toss and throw around that cat as much as you want. He's going to find a way to land on all fours. He's going to find a way to land on his feet every single time. Knife edge chop from Hosway, taking down Solo. Inside cradle, Solo. Hosway gets the shoulder free at 1. And it's quite apropos. It's quite befitting here tonight that both Oliver English and Solo could be in the same ring here together. Considering this is how all of this truly started back at Mayhem, when Oliver English made his return to KPW, revealing himself as the leader of Parliament. Taking the fight right to the Scrapyard Saint from the beginning, using overwhelming force to get the job done. K-Dogg is in. He's looking to get a piece of Hosway now. Surfboard stretch courtesy of the pit bull. We're here to see if K-Dogg's bite is as loud as his bark here tonight. And look at the snap on that European uppercut, delivering that to Oliver English. A man that has mastered the fine art of that European uppercut. Oliver English going for a Romero stretch on the pit bull. Swinging neck breaker from K-Dogg. And a quick knee to the gut for good measure. We know the MO of Bunker Hill. We've seen them walk away with championship gold multiple times during the course of this war. But if they cannot walk away with a victory, they can walk away trying to make sure that Parliament doesn't win. It is more imperative to them that Parliament loses than seeing Bunker Hill win at all. That is how much disdain that they have grown to have and harness here for Parliament. And we've seen that silver tongue of Oliver English in action multiple times. He's been able to sway many men within that locker room, bringing them quite the revisionist history, if you ask me. Talking about the great vision, harkening back to the days when KPW was just picking up some steam, getting right off of its feet, and ready to hit the ground running. When Oliver English was the first ever world heavyweight champion. That is the simpler times that Oliver English wants to take us back to. And Bunker Hill, they are simply fighting for progress here. Leg lock cinched in on Hosway. It looked like Hosway was about to tap there. Oliver English making that crucial save. That's been one hell of a critique for the Monarch ever since Parliament really picked up the foundation here in KPW. He was a selfish leader. He didn't have any intentions for anybody else, and he just viewed his underlings as collateral. And the only thing that mattered to him was if he could get that World Heavyweight Championship back. Tandem offense from Bunker Hill. Oliver English caught in the middle of that heel kick clothesline combo. Tilt-a-whirl power slam from K-Dogg. We're gonna go for another enziguri, but Oliver English sidesteps it, but not the neck breaker. Big senton from the pit bull, and he's all fired up. Hosway springs into action for his dear leader. Solo doing what he can to keep Oliver English at bay. Stun gun from Oliver English. Hosway moving in for the kill. Hosway trying to go for a roundhouse kick to the sternum. Ankle lock counter from K-Dogg. Taking Hosway down to all fours. Making him reach out for his tag team partner here. Tandem offense once again for Bunker Hill. They are much more coordinated in their attacks here tonight. They're more than willing to work together as equals, as partners working together on the same page, same wavelength. Hurricane Runner from Solo. And you would not expect the level of flexibility that we have seen from the Scrapyard Saint. He is really up the ante here. He is really transformed in the time that we've seen him here at KPW. Hurricane Rana, but he's got the legs rolled up here.
Count two.
And oh my God, Hosway just barely beat that 3 count. He just barely, I think that was like a 2.8. Inside cradle, but Hosway's not the legal man. Oliver English snuck in the tag. Chicken wing suplex on Oliver English, but K-Dogg's not the legal man. Sunset flip, but Hosway's not the legal man. This is pandemonium. Inside cradle on Oliver English, only a 1 count. Solo's gonna have to move quicker. And what a standing clothesline from Oliver English. The Scrapyard Saint got absolutely rocked with that one. 3. This referee, he's losing all signs of control here. Reverse armbar from Solo. Is he gonna try and make Oliver English tap? That'd be quite the embarrassment for Parliament if he pulled that off. Spinning wheel kick. Oliver English, he has no clue where the hell he's even at here. Hurricane Rana rolling him up.
2.
That kick out at 2. He's quite a dangerous man. He's quite a resilient man, that Oliver English. One has to wonder if he's got the wherewithal, if he has the grit, the guts, the endurance to deal with Bunker Hill here tonight. Above enziguri, knocking K-Dogg back into the arms of Hosway. One hell of a distraction from the secret weapon. One hell of a way to buy Oliver English some time to recover and recuperate. Hosway looking to pick up the slack here. Ironman's carry from Hosway. A quick jab from K-Dogg. Float over DDT. Oliver English, Hosway, they are hoping, they are just pleading that they could walk away with this within the next 12 minutes. They know that they have 60 minutes on the clock on Saturday night to walk away tag team champions or not. But they have 12 minutes to make sure that they can break free from the reach of Bunker Hill. Also, looking for that hook kick. K-Dogg ducks it. Irish whip reversal. Monkey flip from Hosway. K-Dogg, Hosway, jostling for positions. Hosway throws all the formalities out the window. He just takes him down with a vicious jab. Solo tags in. Hosway tossed out of the ring and down to the floor in front of the Kumite faithful. Oliver English left at the mercy of Bunker Hill inside the ring.
7, 8.
Hosway cinching in a leg lock. Look kick taken down Solo. Hosway trying to build up some serious momentum again for Parliament, and he's making some serious strides in that belly-to-belly suplex. Oliver English tagging back in. He wants a piece of the Scrapyard Saint. Hurricane Rana from Hosway. Oliver English. Waistlock counter from Solo. Solo looking to steal one. Look at him embarrass Oliver English. Another step up enziguri. A knee to the groin of Solo. Tandem offense onto Solo there. Double clothesline with a followed up by a double elbow drop. And Solo, he's absolutely rocked from that one. K-Dogg stepping up to the Monarch once again. Oliver English looking to go for a Hurricane Rana, transition into a sunset flip. K-Dogg changing the course of this bout drastically with that electric chair drop, and he's been able to hold the momentum ever since. K-Dogg was looking to signal for the end here. He's got Oliver right where he wants him. Riz Crusher! Pulling him further away from Hosway. Solo in position.
1, 2, 3.
And Bunker Hill continues to keep a leg up on Parliament. When it comes to the bell-to-bell, Hosway having some slight hesitations there as he took a sweet time getting through the ropes there. These two have a tag team championship bout ahead of them on Saturday night, and they're still not completely on the same page. They're still not able to coexist. And the fate of Parliament hangs in the balance. They need to make this work. They need to get on the same page. They need to work on the same side here, because what we saw here just now, here tonight, was Bunker Hill putting into practice what Oliver English has been trying to preach. unifying together on the one cause, getting on the same page, putting their plans into motion, and bringing the time to a standstill. After that wrist crusher, you could have been counting to 100. If Hosway was just a little bit closer, he might have been able to break things up, but Bunker Hill, K-Dogg, Solo, they've been able to march out of this with a hard-earned victory here tonight. But coming up next, what we have ahead of us is quite the hard-hitting fight. A serious battle is about to hit the stage here in our main event. The King of Stego style, Cory Sinclair, takes on the Siberian Silver Bear, the KPW World Heavyweight Champion, Pando, for the first time ever. But before we get right back down to ringside, I understand that Roger is once again on standby. This time, he's joined by none other than the KPW Twitch Champion, the Sauce. I wonder what this is all about.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we get right into the main event, I am here with our incumbent KPW Twitch champion, the Rhinestone Cowboy himself, the Sauce. I understand that you have quite the public service announcement to make on the program, so allow me to give you the floor.
The Sauce has given his blood, his sweat, and his tears to defending this KPW Twitch Championship. The Sauce shined up these boots real pretty for anybody with the guts to step up these past 2 months. Parliament, Bunker Hill, and everybody in between, the Sauce doesn't give a damn what colors you rep and what flag you want to fly. What matters is that the Sauce has been able to raise this championship way up high. Everybody's been lining up to get a piece of the Sauce, and nobody has been able to separate me from this prestigious Twitch championship. Collision Course is this Saturday. Allow the Sauce to return the favor for the faithful, because what I am here to offer is a deal that will separate the boys from the men in that locker room. First come, first serve. Whoever decides to lace up those boots and take on the Sauce is going to get the bargain of a lifetime, because I will put the KPW Twitch Championship on the line for this special open challenge. Time is of the essence, and the Sauce isn't waiting much longer. Give the people's champion the fight of a lifetime.
Strong words from the Sauce. He wants that open challenge. Heading into Collision Course, anybody that is eligible to challenge for the Twitch Championship could step up to the plate. We will see in just 5 nights who that lucky man will be. But if there's anybody that doesn't feel quite as lucky, almost outright cursed, it's the King of Stego style, Cory Sinclair. He has 2 fights to worry about in just a week's time. First, he's got to take on the World Heavyweight Champion here tonight. And if things weren't bad enough, he's got a barbed wire brawl on Saturday night against Chris Billy. One has to wonder what the hell is going to be left of that man after the next week of action here in KPW. What we are about to witness here, ladies and gentlemen, what we are about to see here, folks, for Cory Sinclair, this is not about victory. This isn't about winning or losing whatsoever. This has just very quickly changed. The context has changed altogether after the events of earlier on tonight. This is all about survival. Pando making one hell of an opening statement, flooring Cory Sinclair in the corner with that spear. Cory reciprocating with a heel kick to the back of the head of Pando. One has to wonder what kind of shape Cory Sinclair is in after that beatdown that Chris Billy delivered to him earlier on tonight. Wonder if that's the first thing he's even thinking about right now. We don't even know where the hell the headspace of Cory Sinclair is in recent months. We've seen him grow mad. We've seen him get more and more unhinged, more deranged as the weeks continue to pile on. Back-to-back clotheslines from Pando. If things couldn't be any more different, look no further than a world heavyweight champion and how he's handling things with the Viceroy Jedi ahead of Collision Course. Those two have remained very competitive, quite respectful of one another. A code of honor, a code of chivalry, something that Cory Sinclair seems to have lost in recent months.
3, 4, 5, 6.
Y'all know what hangs in the balance on Saturday night. One of the biggest matches in KPW history. Pando Jedi World Heavyweight Championship up for grabs. Jedi, of course, working to restore his legacy, get back on track to where he was earlier on in the year, where he reigned as our World Heavyweight Champion for a record-setting 218 days. Pando looks to march into battle on Saturday night, looking to build a legacy of his own. And he's built one hell of a reputation in the time that he's been here. Big body attack from Pando. Pando looking to go for a running dropkick. Cory backs out of the range for that strike. Leaves Pando hanging. Knife edge chops from Pando, taking down Cory, holding him at the arm, making sure he can't run anywhere, he can't hide from the World Heavyweight Champion. Head scissors takedown from Cory. Discus leg drop from the King of Stego style. And compared to even like a month ago, maybe even 2 months ago, Cory Sinclair is damn near unrecognizable. One has to wonder where everything could have went wrong for this man. Gut wrench power bomb from Pando. Pando looking to go up top here, waiting for the time to strike. Diving clothesline as he puts on a gun show for the Kumite faithful. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm being authorized here by the board of directors to give a quick rundown of what to expect this Saturday night at Collision Course. We of course see that the Sauce has laid down the open challenge for the KPW Twitch Championship. We will find out in 5 nights' time who will be the man that will get to call that shot. Also still to come, we'll be seeing Steven Gilbert take on Pierre Cinema in a high-stakes, high-profile, marquee grudge match. And speaking of grudges, as we As we've seen unfold here earlier on tonight, Cory Sinclair will be taking on Chris Billy for a third and final time in a barbed wire brawl. We've only seen the barbed wire brawl in action 2 other times in KPW's history. One of those brutal matches in all of professional wrestling.
2,
Pando,
3,
head full of steam here, senton to the floor.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Also still to
11.
come at Collision Course.
12.
Plenty of tag team action
13.
ahead of us. K-Dogg and Solo earning their way into a marquee match at Collision Course, being able to take on Chaos Control, Kruger, and Papyrus in tag team action. And speaking of tag teams, look no further than Parliament's Oliver, English, and Hosway. They gotta coexist. They gotta find a way to make it work as they take on the Murder Hornets for the KPW Tag Team Championships. And of course, the main event, the reason for the season, the KPW World Heavyweight Championship up for grabs. Pando versus Jedi for the gold. And that is all on Saturday night. But still to come next week on War Zone. The American Championship will be having its first match ever, as Bob will be defending the American Championship against the Heartthrob, Popo. With more to be announced over the course of the week. Cory Sinclair picking up a rare advantage over Pando. Some rare vulnerabilities. Oil spill on Pando. We saw him pull that off on Jedi earlier in the evening. Meteor strike inbound. And Pando. Oh my God. He's back on his own 2 feet. How in the hell does Pando have the wherewithal to keep fighting? How does he do it? Shoulder breaker from Pando to Cory. And he's letting those fists fly here tonight. Pando trying to psych out Cory. Cory trying to run right through Pando there. Headbutts to the back of the head of Pando. A golden chop. Cory Sinclair with a hip toss on Pando. Double foot stomp into the chest of the world champion.
1, 2, 3,
Cory Sinclair
4,
psyching out Pando. Getting underneath the skin of the Kumite faithful.
7, 8,
Oh, back to back on that, playing mind games here.
10.
Is the king of Stego style, Cory Sinclair. Oh man, a king that many have considered to have gone mad here. Pando leaving himself open once again. Cory, he's in one hell of a position. This would be a rare victory over the Siberian Silver Bear. Oil spill. And he wants to make sure that Pando can't get back up. Oh my God. Back-to-back oil spills, hook in the leg, and Jedi's rushing in from the crowd. Payback from earlier on. Cory Sinclair may have a disqualification victory over the Siberian Silver Bear. But I think he's learning in real time that he might have made the wrong plays in the wrong time to make his move on the man beast earlier on tonight, as Jedi just lets those fists fly at Cory Sinclair. Jedi retrieving the timekeeper's bell, clocking him with the bell. Cory Sinclair, he's gonna be feeling a real serious stinger here. Action spilling to outside the announcer's desk. The tensions seriously flaring up here tonight. Absolute chaos, absolute pandemonium. I don't know how Pando's gonna feel about Jedi giving the technical victory to Cory Sinclair here tonight. Jedi looking to do to Cory Sinclair what he couldn't do to Chris Billy. Not before delivering insult to injury with that meteor strike. Pando waiting for the Viceroy up top here. Jedi grabbed the world title. Pando wants him to hand it over. And all formality has been thrown out the window. Jedi has just dropped the belt. He's throwing down that challenge. And these two, they're not gonna wait for the weekend. They're not waiting for Saturday. They're looking to get it on now. Pando is irate. Jedi, he is determined. He is hungry here tonight. This is the Viceroy in rarefied air. We're gonna give Pando a painful reminder of why the Viceroy, he was able to hold on to that World Heavyweight Championship longer than anyone else. All these men, they are battered, they are bruised. This is like a damn car wreck. You can't look away from it. All these men, they are exhausted, they are spent. Tensions have flared up to a fever pitch. Both of them return to the ring. Pando splitting Jedi in half with that spear. And look at how fierce these two are going at it with each other here in the ring tonight. We can only imagine what it's gonna look like when that bell rings at Collision Course. Security officials ringside, they're trying to intervene here. They're trying to do whatever they can to get in between the champion and the challenger. Cory Sinclair taking out his frustrations. He's laying it in on some of the security staff. Hammer's staying away from Cory Sinclair as he aims to not leave here empty-handed. And that's certainly the mentality that the Viceroy has in mind come Saturday night. Jedi perhaps trying to drag Panda over to the announcer's desk, returning the action inside the ring. And these two still aren't finished. The security can't even get anywhere close to these two. A tug of war over the steel chair. One heavy swing takes Jedi through the ropes. A second one off the apron. Pando finally trying to get some separation. The security pulling Jedi away from the ring. What a potent, toxic brew that we've seen here and cooked up here tonight. The intensity, the ferocity that we've seen in this ring here all night paints one hell of a picture for Collision Course. The battle of legacies, battle of two of KPW's biggest egos for the World Heavyweight Championship. Who's going to be able to walk away with the gold? Who's going to be able to walk away the bigger man? We'll have to tune in on Saturday night to find out. Ivan Tapey Styles, the only man that can call the action right down the middle, flying solo as always. And we will see you in just 5 nights' time. Good night, everybody.